Hello, hello, hello. My name is Patty Kay here in Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm here to introduce a talk that we had the other day on Thursday evening, Hosanna Gospel Center Fellowship. And if you are in diaspora, living away from your country, you will enjoy listening to this. Kindly remember to like, to share, and to comment on this video, and above all to subscribe. Kindly subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click on that red button written subscribe and make sure it reads subscribed. If you've already subscribed, don't unsubscribe. Okay? Yeah, so here is the Bible discussion. Enjoy. Patty K. See you on the other side. Thank you. God bless you. Bye. And we will look at different people, men and women who are in diaspora and what they did for diaspora, and we see all for their countries or while in diaspora, so that we can explore and see that if likewise we can do something for ourselves and our people. Praise be to the name of the Lord. I will mention a few, and I will open like a discussion at some point. If we can have a secretary, just type these names on the chat. Abraham, Joseph, Moses. Is somebody writing on the chat here? Any volunteer?
I'll do it.
Yeah. Abraham, Joseph, Moses, Daniel. In one line, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is one. Nehemiah, Ruth, Paul. Yeah. Paul, let's see if there was somebody else. Yeah, Eddie Paul. 8 different people. We will briefly look at them. I'll just mention a sentence for each of the persons, and then we can explore before we hear what others have said they did. We can explore and see what we think we did from what we know. Sawa. So Abraham, he is considered the father of many nations. Abraham's journey from Mesopotamia to Canaan exemplifies faith and obedience. And the Bible verse is in Genesis 12, 1-3, one of my all-time favorite verses. The Lord had said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people, your father's house, to the land I will show you." Reflect on that, how many people were given similar word, maybe different words, but the same message, to go into diaspora. A diaspora, you didn't know what to expect. An America, you did not know what to expect. But you had a clear calling, either audible voice or you are being pushed by circumstances, and you found yourself in diaspora. Then there is Joseph. Joseph, he was sold into slavery in Egypt. Joseph became a powerful figure who ultimately saved his family and many others during a famine. The Bible verse is Genesis 50:20, which says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." In the last 1 month, myself and a couple of others, some here and others not in this group, we have been praying for the visitation that our second Deputy President of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, and his entourage were coming to America. And as we were praying for him, we found ourselves praying for Kenya, because you cannot pray for a Kenyan leader and fail to pray for Kenya. We found ourselves also praying for America. And this thing came in handy. We are here in America ourselves, at a time such as this. I want us to reflect when we come to the application piece on Joseph. How would it apply to your situation? How would it apply to you? Then there is Moses. Moses was born to Hebrew parents and raised in Egypt. Moses led the Israelites out of Egyptian bondage and received the 10 commandments. The Bible verse is Exodus 3:10. So now go, I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. So we know very much the story of Moses, how he was allowed to be raised in the palace, but he ended up going back to his people and delivering them from bondage. That's a powerful one too. The next character we are looking at is Daniel. He was taken captive to Babylon. Daniel remained faithful to God and became a high-ranking official, influencing kings and nations. The Bible verse is Daniel 2:48-49. Then the king placed Daniel in a high position and lavished many gifts on him. How many people are in high positions here in our midst? Even middle-level high positions, low-level high positions, high-level high positions. Yeah, our sister Grace was talking of her daughter getting an award in a hospital, a big hospital. Who is like unto our God? What did Daniel do, and what can we do in our situation? Remember, they were like men just as we are. They happen to be in diaspora at the right time, according to God's purposes. Number 5 is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These 3 young men, also taken captive to Babylon, stood firm in their faith when commanded to worship a golden statue, demonstrating unwavering loyalty to God. The Bible verse, Daniel 3:16-18. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. Praise be to the name of the Lord. I wonder how many people would say that, even to their boss, to their program director, or to their supervisor. That one I cannot do. Yeah, number 6 is Nehemiah. Nehemiah is one of my favorite diaspora characters or persons. He was a Jewish cupbearer in the Persian court. Nehemiah returned to Jerusalem to lead in the rebuilding of the city walls, showcasing leadership and faith. The Bible verse is Nehemiah 2:17. Then I said to them, you see the trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been burnt with fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. In Kenya, in the last 1 week or so, I think we can imagine what it was like in the days of Nehemiah. From the burnings of gates, burning of malls, burning of supermarkets, burning in specific places where many of us come from. And Nehemiah did what he did. He participated in rebuilding the walls. How can we participate in rebuilding our nations? How can we participate in building Africa, in building Kenya? Then the other person is Ruth, a Moabite woman who committed her life to her Israelite mother-in-law, Naomi. Ruth's loyalty exemplified faithfulness, and she became part of the lineage of Jesus. The Bible verse is Ruth 1:16. This is a very famous Bible verse that people like putting in their wedding cards. But Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. And they continue, your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Yeah, when I worked in the bank, there was this lady, Christian lady. She used to say that, me, I'm not following somebody's God, unless that God is Jehovah, our God. Because you could follow blindly and follow the wrong gods. Although if we followed the scriptures, you would not have yoked yourself with an unbeliever. But it has happened, and people have left their faith and gone to worship other gods. But we are saying no. In Ruth's case, her mother-in-law was worshiping the Lord God Almighty. And she must have observed her relationship with this God and what God had done for her in spite of the troubles they had gone through as a family. Then finally we have Paul, the apostle. Although a Jew by birth, Paul spread the message of Christ across Roman Empire, impacting numerous cultures and peoples. The Bible verse, Acts 9:15. But the Lord said to Ananias, "Go, this man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings and to the people of Israel." These figures not only had a significant impact within their context, but also played crucial roles in the broader narrative of the Bible and its teachings. Praise be to the name of the Lord. You know, when I was searching for Bible characters that were in diaspora, I was surprised to see some of these names. But when I thought of it deep, I saw, yeah, they were in diaspora. Paul surprised me. Abraham surprised me. I had never thought of him as a diaspora. Nehemiah, I always knew he was in diaspora. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, yes. Daniel, yes. Those ones, they didn't surprise me, but those others surprised me. And I'm sure there could be many more. But these were the ones that were quick to be picked in that search of the diaspora persons. Now, having heard those narratives, how then could we apply their experience and our experience in our service to God? How can we? I'm sure by now we have all the names, the 8 names. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, if we consider it as one. They are 3 men, but their experience was one. And pick any of those characters and say how you think you could apply their experience in your situation today. I want it to be an open discussion so that we can apply. It's easy to read the Bible verse and see what they did without thinking what we can do ourselves or what we are doing. So I want to share it just so that, and there's no right and wrong. It could be something small, it can be something big. Yeah, with these characters. The floor is open. Any of those characters, say something about it. And let's hear what people will say. Don't shy. And I don't want to pick us. I want people to just volunteer. I think I will try to see if I can copy paste what I was just reading so that people can review as they consider. And thank you, whoever wrote did a good job there. Is it possible to cut and paste? I doubt. It's not.
I don't know whether you can hear me.
Hey, I can't. Now we can.
Oh, so I was saying I would pick Daniel.
Go ahead.
And I would say Daniel, at least when he was in that country, as you call it, his diaspora, he refused to bow to other gods. And he kept on praying in spite to God, in spite of him being warned and told not to kneel And he continued kneeling and facing Jerusalem and calling on the name of the true God. He was not afraid of a king. So maybe here sometimes what happens when we come to this country and people get so busy and we kind of sometimes forget, like initially, just like the way Jesus was telling the people in Revelation to come back to their first love. Because I believe when you are in Kenya, maybe not in everybody's case, but Kenyans were kind of really going to lunchtime meetings, evenings, and maybe you would never miss a Sunday. But here things are kind of different. So that's what I was saying. Maybe we should more or less look at Daniel, the way he kept on, no matter how bad the situation was. He did not take on the culture of the people that he found in the diaspora.
Wow.
That's my take.
That's powerful, Diana. And nice to hear your voice after a very long time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Anybody else? You can either comment on what Diana said, Sister Diana said, or you can pick another character and say something about it.
I'm just going to compare and contrast because Mama Stella brought that up. But I'm now looking at Ruth, who decided or went with your God shall be my God, your people shall be my people. So she went and fully integrated into that diaspora culture. But I think what I would want to note in that regard is the person that she was following was just not was a woman of noble character, I would say. Like, was somebody worth emulating, not just anybody out there. So where there are parts of us that I guess we have to change when we come to a diaspora country, knowing who to emulate, knowing what part of that culture we can pick up. So if I think about it, right, we were talking about lunch hours and prayer meetings, right? In today's culture, we have Zoom meetings that we didn't get when we had in Kenya. Right? There are a lot of prayer lines that we can call into that we didn't have when we were in Kenya. So part of, I guess, integrating into the culture and becoming part of the diaspora that we are in is taking the good out of that and following that. Yes.
Wow. Great thoughts. So that's so, yeah? Was that so?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so powerful. We have a lot of wealth here. Bring it on. People have lots of good things. So we can, I was reflecting as Sue was talking, and I was wondering, what can prevent us to have lunch hour meetings, even here through the Zoom? Like if it's the church, we can open this wall, if it's between 1 and 2, and whomever can, we can have some music, some gospel music going on, and whomever can, you can just throw yourself there and do your prayers. I don't know. I was just thinking, because in the Kenyan situation, we had the morning glories, we had the lunch hour meetings. I'm assured of the lunch hour meetings. Wow. And then, especially those two, morning glory and lunch hour meetings, and the caches. Yeah. Anybody else with any of the characters, any of the Bible persons, how you could apply?
Greetings, everybody. Whilst I love the story of Daniel that has been picked upon today, actually, I even shared with us in NLPH that blessed me about Daniel, where it says he prayed to the God of heaven. And as I'm listening to these previous two speakers, I'm reminded that being in the diaspora, there may be different gods. Some are not the God of heaven, but you can still pray to the God of heaven in your own way and decide that that's what I'm going to hold. And it blessed me, this thing of differentiating God as the God of heaven and saying wisdom and power belong to him, stuff like that. I'm blessed by that. But if I choose a character, I would choose Abraham, that man of faith who went through very difficult moments trying the very thing that he ends up being commended for. Because he didn't show up being worthy of being called a friend of God and a great man of faith. If he was always 100% like that, he would not have done or said some of the things he did. As we know, we now have an ongoing war of his sons, Ishmael and Isaac, because of that space. I won't go into those details, but he held it up in saying, I will obey. How I wish I would take that part of him in being an obedient Christian against all odds. If God says, keep it, he keeps it. If God says, give it up, he gives it up, even if it's the best and only thing he has. As we all know, Isaac was the best and only thing he had. He waited 25 solid years for the same thing. Now it's him who told, give it up, and he did. And God saw his faith and called him his friend. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much, Sister Zori. I'm thinking of Abraham, and the pastor likes preaching on this when he says that the father of Abraham had been called to begin this journey, but he got stuck somewhere. But for Abraham, he went all the way. So, have we been called to come to diaspora? And remember, the diaspora of these people was not a godly, for most of them, it was not a godly diaspora. But godly men became the right of that diaspora. If you can think of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, of Daniel, of Moses, of Abraham, even of Joseph, whether in a small way or in a big way, all the characters here. It's not that they were surrounded, most of them, by heathen. Abraham himself, that is why God was telling him to get out of his father's house to a place where he would show him. Because the father who had been called got stuck, he didn't continue with the journey. But Abraham was called and he continued with the journey. So when we came to America, many of us have had several testimonies in our midst amongst diaspora people, saying that I said that if I get that green card or that American visa, I will serve God for the rest of my life. I will go and evangelize that America, that heathen America. But you came here, you tasted a few dollars, and like Abraham's father, you forgot your calling. So that's why we are challenging ourselves. What is it? Because God did not bring us here just to earn the dollars. That I am 100% sure. He brought us here for a purpose. Remember, he's the one who determines where people will be at any given time. We are not here by accident. We are here to bless ourselves, to bless our families, to bless our countries, to bless our continent with the plenty. With a lot of knowledge, people have come to universities here. They go back, they rebuild their countries like the Nehemiahs. Yeah? Others have come here, they get a lot of wealth. They build they help their families. Like right now, I've been building. Many of you know I've been building for since 2022, and many people that have earned that money, mujego, the mason money, as they are working and they are being paid. Lots of people, and many of us have done that. Bought houses, built. That money is helping our countries and our continents. And Kenya has prided that. The diaspora money has surpassed the money for tea and coffee, and even for tourism. So we are here, we are blessing our countries. But also as we bless monetarily, how are we blessing spiritually? What can we do to make a difference? I used to say, before I came to America, I was living in a place called Comarock. That house of mine in Komarok, it looked pretty for me when I was there. I remember my son who had come 10 years ahead of me. I would share some pictures and he would tell me, hey, kanyumba kameparara, and I would wonder, imeparara aje? Then I was wondering how to America. They go there to brag. But today when I go there, I can't even see myself living there again. Yeah. Yeah. A lot has happened monetarily, socio-economically, it has happened. But is that all there is for Patricia? That's the question. As we grow in wisdom, nake Jesu agikura akinenehaga akiendagwo nĩ Ngai ona andũ. You know, as we grow, may we even grow socially, spiritually, for God to love us, for us to serve our people, and we get that love. And the more so spiritually. What impact are we making? Yeah, let me throw the ball back to you. Pick another character, say something about it, apply it. Yes, let's hear.
Thank you, Sister Patricia. And I was going to explain to Dr. Zoli what parara means, but I tried to find an English word, and I don't think I have any. Is it sort of neglected?
Beat up.
Oh, yes, beat up.
Okay.
Beat up. Beat up is a good one.
Yeah, beat up. The house is beat up, yeah. Anyway, thank you. Yes, and I have to agree with what you just said, that we didn't come here for no reason. You are echoing the words of a pastor who spoke over the weekend. I was at a conference in DC, and he said the same exact words, how God had given him a word and spoken to him. The same message you're speaking right now, that God will have blessed us in our country. He would have flourished us in our country. And so he has brought us here for a reason and for a purpose. And so I'm hearing you say those words again and emphasizing it even with the characters that you're talking about who went to distant lands. And the same message is being emphasized here today. So definitely God is telling us something today, even with this message. And I really, really appreciate that and even the feedback. And we do need to be awake and alert to hear what the voice of the Lord is saying. I don't think all those characters you mentioned and I see in the chat, you know, being in foreign countries and God even continuing to use them. The one that I remember that stands out for me is the same that a lot of people are mentioning, who is Daniel and his team. And when I was watching the movie Daniel over in, what is this place called? In PA,
Sight and sound.
Sight and sound, thank you.
$5.
Thank you. When I watched Daniel at Sight and Sound, he mentioned something so powerful. When Daniel was told to bow down to King Nebuchadnezzar's idol, you know, and he said some very powerful words. He said, you know, in the likes of, if I bow down, that's the reason why we are already in slavery, because our people refused to worship God in our country, in our land, in our promised land. You know, how is it that I'm going to leave the promised land and then come and continue in the same habits that brought us into captivity? And that took me like, I don't think I have ever thought about it like that. That they had not worshipped God, and that's why they were in captivity. And now here is a king who wants them again to not worship God. They will be forever in captivity. And that's why his why of not worshiping an idol was very powerful, because he understood why he cannot worship an idol. That was the reason why Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego were already in captivity, because the generations, their fathers and forefathers had refused to worship God. They had bowed down to idols. So he was not going to worship those idols because he had seen the reason or the consequences of worshiping the idols. So for me, Daniel stands out, and I keep reminding myself based on those words that were mentioned in that play, that why am I not doing something? Why am I not worshiping those gods? Why am I not doing, the following the cultures and the things that people would expect me to do? It's because those things have led people astray. So I don't want to be in the Lord's judgment because of those, of not obeying God. So for me, definitely Daniel stands out for me. However, Patricia, powerful reminder to us that for sure we have come into this country for a reason and a purpose, and we need God to order our steps to where He wants us to be and to be established. Thank you.
Wow. Glory be to the name of the Lord. You know how you know that God is saying something? When it's repeated. You try to run away from it, you go somewhere else. Non-related, I had no idea what was preached to your tabs was. Yeah. And I didn't hear anybody preaching it, not anytime soon. I just had diaspora.